Hello everyone, I'm bringing a video today looking at some more elements of Dutch web equipment, and these are specifically Airforce issue rather than Army issue. It's a pair of magazine pouches designed for use with the Uzi submachine gun, so we're going to have a look at these in some detail now.
So here we have them, a pair of Dutch Airforce issue Uzi magazine pouches. These are designed for the standard Uzi submachine gun magazine. These really are quite small pouches. If I hold one in my hand, it probably gives some idea. If I bring in something for comparison, which is a Dutch Airforce M1 carbine pouch, we have that here. It's basically a direct copy of the US design in blue-grey. You can see these really are small, and I'd seen photographs of them before getting hold of a pair. Thanks to Kevin Mills. Thank you for helping source these, Kevin. And I didn't realise just how small they were. And you'll see when we look at the back, they sit on the belt in a rather odd way as well. So quite a strange looking pouch when actually carried. These are ostensibly a pair. They are the same thing. However, as you can see, the manufacturing variation, manufacturing error, I don't know. They are slightly different in height. Just an interesting point to note here. You can see that there is a slight difference in height between the two. As you can see from the back here as well, they basically function in the same way as 1937 pattern pouches in the way that they attach to the equipment. And we'll talk more about that in just a minute. Another feature they share with 1937 pattern, certainly with later 1937 pattern basic pouches, the later Mark IIIs, is the design of the quick release fastener at the front here. It's a bit stiff on this one, but this one functions fairly well. You can see we have the metal loop on a strap on the front here, and then another metal loop attached to the flap or the lid, and simply a cloth strap that passes through to secure that. Inside, you can see we have two compartments for magazines. Let me get that fully in camera there, my apologies. And underneath the flap here we do have some markings which are, due to the folding of the cloth and so forth, are rather difficult to get in camera, but hopefully that's not too bad there. I've not fully made sense of these yet. I think the date is here, which is 1950 something, or possibly 1960 something. I think it's 1958, but I could be wrong. Not entirely clear on that. Obviously you have the MVO stamp, I think, in the top there. You can see, and it's possible this is a contract number. Anyone who could advise on that, I'd be interested to know. You can see the fading here, obviously the blue-grey finish. There's a little bit of discoloration where this has been exposed to light and dirt and so forth. Underneath the flap, you've got more of the original sort of blue-grey colour these would be in, and this one is slightly closer to that colour. Pop this one open. Just an interesting thing to note here is that the strap used to make the quick release is a sort of a finer webbing, more similar to that you'd see with the 1944 pattern equipment, as opposed to the rest of the webbing, which is the same sort of grade as you'd see with 1937 pattern. This one's basically exactly the same, two compartments inside, apart from that slight size discrepancy. Slightly better stamps in this one, perhaps. And get the light in there. You can perhaps see. Again, we seem to have a 1950 something date or 1960 something date, and the MVO stamp, the top there, as you can see. So that's the internal details. Looking at the back of these, as mentioned before, these basically function in the same way as 1937 pattern. So you have these C-hooks to attach onto the belt, but set extremely low. So these look rather odd when they're worn. They sit right up on the belt. So the belt runs down here, and basically the entirety of the rest of the pouch is above the belt, and nothing hangs down below. And you then have a fair lead here attaching the buckle, which the brace end can pass through. You still have a loop here for attaching L-straps on a haversack or something of that nature. That could pass down through there. The strap passes right down through here and down, obviously behind the belt, and there's just enough room for that with the C-hooks. So they attach to the equipment in the same way as 1937 pattern, will therefore be completely compatible with 1937 pattern, as was the majority of Dutch equipment at this time. Obviously you have the water bottle, the canteen carriers, which slung below the belt in US fashion using eyelets and hanger hooks. But otherwise, the rest of the equipment for both the Air Force and the Army tends to be compatible with 1937 pattern. There's this sort of back compatibility with the inherited equipment, which is carried forward to new Dutch items, and you can certainly see that here with these magazine pouches. So quite an interesting little design. Very happy to have a pair of these. Quite keen to put together a set of Dutch Air Force web equipment, perhaps with uniform and so forth at some point. I have a pair of the black combat boots on the way, all being well. I need to talk to Kevin about that. I need to get back to him on that. At this point, I probably will have done by the time the video goes live, but as I say, just a quick look at these, and hopefully these will feature in a future video looking at Dutch web equipment more generally, certainly maybe with a recreation on the mannequin, something of that nature. And obviously, just to mention again, they had a variety of different pouches for different weapons. You have one here for the M1 carbine, which obviously brought in sort of as a comparison to show you the size of these, but quite interesting in and of itself as well. So I might do a video talking more generally about Dutch Airforce web equipment at some point going forward. I just thought I'd make a little video here, a short video, talking about these interesting little ammunition pouches.
So there we are, quite an eccentric design in some respects. Hopefully it's been interesting looking at the various design features in this video. If you found this interesting and you'd like to see more of this sort of thing, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And whether you're newly subscribing or you've previously subscribed, please do make sure you hit the little bell, the notification button down below. That will of course alert you when I upload future videos. That's everything for this video, so until next time, bye for now.